And we pulled it also into our PLC, and we're using a book, Guided Comprehension and Teaching Model for grades 3 through 8, and we've gotten a lot of great ideas out of here that we have taken back into the classroom and made centers with them and made some lessons with them. And so what we did here was we pulled a bunch of the stuff that we've used with our kids on making inferences, and Miss Karen Watts is going to discuss it.
We first sat down and started trying to figure out what the problem was. And first of all, we tried to figure out why. How can students make good inferences? What do we need to teach them? Because if you break it down for them, a lot of times they're going to get it. And then, why do they have a hard time? And as we all know, the biggest reason is they lack life experiences, especially a lot of the lower kids. And so we figured out, what can we do? One thing we were trying to do is bring in more technology, such as this site when we were talking about lighthouses. Let's see if it pulls up. That will really, even if the kids can never go to the beach, never see a lighthouse, never experience it, they can at least see it as best as we can. And the site's not pulling up great, but there's actual video. It shows the lighthouses. It shows a move in the lighthouses. It has everything. And none of the kids could have seen the lighthouse being moved, so they can at least experience it. And this is a really cool site, by the way.
And it does all the lighthouses too, not just Big Tower.
So from then, we also pulled a variety of internet sites that actually deal with inferencing, and also books that are great for making inferences. And there's a list in your packet of each. And Ms. Hildreth has some of the books she really likes.
I have 16 books on the list, but here are 3 of the books and some suggestions as to how you can use them.
And then the big thing that our PLC book focused on was the tiered teaching that we all know. You start whole group, you go small group, and then you do individual practice. So with our inferencing, we started with whole group. And I did the Wednesday surprise with Eve Bunting. I don't know if you've ever read it, but it's about a little girl and her grandmother, and they're making a surprise for Dad's birthday. And what it is Grandma couldn't read, and the little girl taught her how to read. So throughout the book, we stop at certain places, and the kids have to inference where they think Dad is, because it gives you clues that he's gone for certain days of the week. And it ends up that he's a truck driver. And then the kids are trying to figure out what the surprise is. And it talks about the grandmother brings a big old bag of books every Wednesday for them to practice, and the kids are trying to figure it out. And some of their inferencing is really funny. And we stress the whole way along that you don't have to get it right, you just have to be able to support it, why you think that. From there, we did inferencing cards. And there's actually the graphic organizer in your packet for these. And what they are is you do the first one whole class. And then they are broken into groups. But each card is numbered, and they start with number 1. And it says you wake up and jump out of bed. What is happening? So they have to stop after card 1 and make a prediction what's happening. And it can be anything they want it to be. Then number 2 is you wake up your family. So they might not be going to school now because you don't wake up the baby or the little brother or sister. Number 3, you run to the living room. What is happening? So after each card, they have to inference what is going on from the clues. And then the last one is you see presents under the tree. So the black envelope is Christmas. And each one is a different, one of them's getting up to go to school because they have to brush their teeth and they're running out the door, and there are different activities that way. And the kids really get a kick out of this, and I try to put them in groups with like the low to high students because of reading them, and they each take turns reading cards, and they have a lot of fun with this. And then we went from there to small group, or to independent, I'm sorry, and I did something called Who's Bag. And you can do this with kids sitting in their seats. I actually transformed it into a center and did a printout. But the whole premise is they find a book bag in the gym and they don't know who it belongs to. And they have to figure out everything they can about the person. So the book bag and pens show you that it's a girl. From there, some more girly stuff. And then there's a horse movie and a horse book. So they can figure out it's a girl, she likes horses. Then there's 3 books about Abraham Lincoln and an agenda. And if you look real close, this is where my kids have problems. It says report due Friday. So if you're really paying attention, you can figure out that they have a report on Abraham Lincoln due. So that's why they have the books. She's a Girl Scout. She's in 4th grade. And that's it. And the kids we talk about that inferencing as being a detective. So they took all their clues and they could narrow it down to what teacher the child belonged to by the assignments. So the kids have had fun with most of this, and I've seen a difference in my crew. I can't speak for anybody else. So we're still trudging away at inferencing. There you go.